Hello, everybody. My name is Jason. Uh, this will be my third post. Uh, the first two, I didn't have my face in them. I was kind of so. I believe God's calling me to make posts on YouTube. I'm not here to monetize. I mean, if that happens, so be it. That's in His hands. Uh, First of all, let me talk about this. So I'm in day 8 of recovery after a Mobi C cervical disc replacement. Very. So I had a herniated disc in my neck between 6 and 7, and it was really causing me a lot of sleepless nights. It would cause me a lot of bad headaches. They said it was pinching on my spinal cord because I sleep on my stomach, and when I put my head up, when I look up, it would pinch on my spinal cord. So it would send pain shooting down my arms, uh, the three fingers numb in the hands, severe pain in the elbows. Uh, Pretty rough. Shoulder pain usually through my shoulders and lower scapula back there on my left side mostly. Uh, it's been going on for years, but yeah, my doctor. I'm going to plug my doctor and or my surgeon. And the reason I want to plug my surgeon, I want to plug all of them really. So first, let me start with none of my healing would be possible if I hadn't accepted God into my life and Christ is my Savior. I go by another name, Yahusha. I believe that's the Hebrew. I've done some digging on it, and that's what I'm settling for. Uh, People know him as Jesus Christ. Uh, things. I'm not here to argue anything on Bible or anything. I'm not a theologist or anything like that. Uh, I'm a former addict, a very good uh, addict. I was a professional. I was what they call equal opportunity addict. So anything that would drown pain or who I who I was, I I participated in. Uh, so I'm not here to really. So what I believe I'm here to do is my testimony, and in doing that, I don't know how to do it. I don't like getting into the so I did this and naming off all the bad stuff I've done. Everybody's done bad stuff, especially if you're an addict. You've done some bad stuff. I'm no better than the next addict, whether I kept a job and worked, whether I stole or not. Uh, and I was an addict. Uh, the point is that I have a testimony, and my testimony is not all the bad things that I did. Uh, the testimony is how I didn't not believe, and my grammar's not the greatest. I didn't not believe. I just didn't know. And I guess I should have because so many times in my life, if I look back and I see uh, he was with me from day one. What I mean from day one is so like it says in the Bible, he was there before I was formed in the womb. So uh, and I really truly believe that. 3 years ago, you'd never heard this stuff out of my mouth, but I think it's very important because he's so. My walk with God started on December 10th, 2022. Uh, that's where I learned how a walk with God is so deep. It is not just a sinner's prayer and you're good to go. It's not. It is so deep and so trying and so, like I tell my friend Carol, I tell her a lot, and she's the owner of the place I work, and I work in a homeless shelter. And it's not like any other homeless shelter you've ever been in. And I'm probably bouncing around here. It's my first video, kind of nervous. I did a couple because, the neck thing, and I'm not moving real good, but, let me calm down and try to get some sort of organization. I don't have a script. I don't. Uh, I'm not a creator, a content creator. I just know that God has proven himself to me to be the actual, excuse me for a second, the actual, the actual, the actual one you read about right here, the literal God, the literal Son of God, Jesus Christ, the literal. He has proved himself to me that the things in this Bible are 1,000% true, and that over the thousands of years, uh, not the millions that they try to convince you that. Anyway, those are deep, dark dives, and we're not trying to get into that too much. The point is, it's one thing to say, yeah, I believe, and because they say if I believe I'm going to go to heaven. It's another thing to really, in your heart, feel it, uh, and feel it so bad that you think that you are so unworthy. I just, I just tore a hole in my Bible. Uh, to feel it so much that you realize how really unworthy you are to be accepted by Him, because it tells us in the Bible that we are not worthy, no, not one of us, that all of us are sinners. We were born into it. That is our natural state. Uh, and it's never going to change. We're always going to combat sin. But on the good note is He's got all the time in the world. He's beyond time. He'll work with you as long as it takes. Uh, I turned him. All of us have done the thing where hey God, if you'll get me out of this, I promise I'll do this. And then what do? We go right back to doing what we were doing. I don't really know all the rules on this thing, what I'm allowed to say, what I'm not. So I'm just going to really mind my words. Uh, Please, Father, give me the words to explain. Let me quit jumping around. The reason I jump around so much is it's so exciting to me to speak about Him. Yet I really don't know how to speak about Him. I don't know how to describe the feeling I get when I have an opportunity to talk to somebody about what He's done in my life. And what makes it so difficult for me is that where I'm at, nobody knows me from my past. So, uh, you know, no man's a prophet in his hometown because you'll learn that people that have been around you all your life, they don't want to see that change in you because it reflects the unwillingness not to change in them. So they don't want to see somebody like me who was an addict and kind of conformed to everything they did. And, you know, when you clean yourself, when I didn't clean myself up, so let's get that straight. When God cleans you up and He puts you on His path and shows you the way He wants you to go, uh, once you truly believe, you really don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. I will not lie. I loved using, uh, but once I knew for 1,000% for sure he was for real, I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't, and I tried. I tried. I tried to go back to. It's like I tell Carol, I say life was so much easier when I was using before he came to me and offered me peace and in a better way. It was so much easier because I didn't have to think about anything. All I had to do was think about. I had two goals: to work, to make money, so I could buy my drugs. Those were my goals in life. Every day, same goal. Every day, same goal. If it wasn't drugs, alcohol, whatever, it was so much easier then. I didn't have to be responsible. I didn't have to answer to anybody. I just went on about my way, and it was my life, and I was going to live it how I wanted to live it, and nobody could tell me anything. But then when you start to develop a relationship, when you know in your heart that there's no doubt that this book is real, and that he opens your eyes to the world and what's going on, and you feel like that child. Here's what you feel like to me: you feel like that child the first time you do something wrong, and the parent looks at you like, "Why did you do that?" Like they're not mad, but they're just they don't understand. They're just looking at you like, "Why would you do that when I love you so much? Why would you lie to me?" The first lie, because after the first one, it gets really easy. Why would you lie to me when you know you can trust me with everything you have? That I'm gonna do everything to to do right by you, and then you lie to me. That's the feeling. That's what it feels like. It is the most miserable, and you can never take it back. You can never. And people say, well, if you just confess it or repent. So we'll get into what repent is. Repent is not just saying, "Hey, I'm sorry," and going out and doing what you want to do again. Repent is an actual turning away from your sin. So you have to. And people say it's a conscious choice to do that. It's really not. It's not, because once you really really believe, there's no choice. There's no choice. You're not forced to do anything. but the feeling inside you. There is no choice whatsoever. I had no choice but to go the way He asked me to go. And it's an everyday thing. It's not a. It doesn't fix itself in one. There's no. There's no. Hey, I'm a Christian now. Everything's good. Uh, I don't get into the religious side of anything. I'm a child of God. Uh, there's no. See, I tried to tell him I wasn't ready for this, uh, but he doesn't care because he'll make you ready. And regardless of how this goes, somebody's going to understand where I'm coming from. They're going to understand how deep this really is, because they're going to be like, "Oh man, that's what I'm feeling right now." It is it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, and sometimes it's really overwhelming. When I first started, I thought I was playing catch up. Everybody will tell you, "Well, you're not behind," and oh, you feel so behind. You feel so like you can't believe you really cheated him out of all those years. You wasted all those years. And then you get angry at other people. Me, I got angry at my family. Uh, we've had our fallouts and stuff, and I'm not here to bash my family. I forgive them for everything, and hopefully one day they can forgive me. And I understand us not being able to mash together ever again, and I'm good with that. But forgiveness is a big thing because if you can't forgive, how's he going to forgive you? So, I lost my train of thought for a second. So, yeah. So let's go to how I came to know the Father, my Father. and, and as I'm explaining this, just remember this don't all come together in your head while it's going on. It's like a hindsight thing. I can sit here now and look back and go, oh, these click moments, and oh, he was there then, and obviously he was there then, and obviously this was his plan. But while you're going through it, it is so overwhelming. It's very overwhelming because you don't understand any of this stuff. And people can tell you something all day long. You know, just like when you're going through a hard time and somebody says, it's going to be okay. And at that moment, you don't feel like it is. You feel like it's the end of the world because they're not going through what you're going through. Uh, so you can't understand where they're coming from with that because they're not feeling what you're feeling. Oops, sorry, my card thing. They're not feeling what you're feeling. So how can you tell me that it's going to be okay? And then 2 years later, you look back and you go, "Wow, I should have known it was going to be okay." Because everybody's told me that if you're following his path, then everything's going to be fine. Let me rephrase that. If you're following his will for your life, then he will work all things for your good. That doesn't mean everything's going to be easy. Doesn't mean everything's going to be on this perfect little path that you like. You, you may go through some stuff, or uh, you may have gone through stuff for years. only to realize that everything you've gone through was was part of his plan. Uh, that he already knew what was going to happen, and the only way to try you, to test you, not to test you, but to sharpen you for the use in his kingdom, for the use for his purpose that he has for you, is for you to go through the fire and be refined like gold, to go through the fire. Because if you go, let's say like addiction, if I go to a recovery, and needless to say, oh, I didn't do recovery. That is my recovery, and that's all you need. Uh, and have the choice of a sponsor that's learned everything out of the book and did straight A's in their class, and they finished top of their class as a counselor, or I got this guy that was thrown into the fire. He walked it and lived it, and he's been through it all. Been burned and burned people and knows both sides of it and has lived it for years. I think I'm going to go with the one that has the experience, not the one who's reading out of a book, kind of like an army officer. No, nobody wants the West Point guy leading their platoon uh, unless he's been tried in battle. They would rather have a private that has combat experience than a uh, colonel that just went to West Point, which we're not getting into the technicalities of that, but you understand the concept here. Experience is the key, and it took a long time for me to realize that everything that's gone on in my life, all the way to the family I was put into, is part of his plan. And it's so in depth that you can't really even fathom how it's possible that you mean all that I went through. It's funny how I made it through every bit of it. Uh, Unscathed. And I wouldn't say unscathed, I mean, but it's funny how I made it through all that. And then you look back and you go, he was with me. He was with me every single day, every minute. And I can tell you exactly the times when I said, I don't need you. And he said, okay, I don't have to scold you. I don't have to, all I have to do is take my hand off of you and let you absorb all that you want to absorb of what you want to absorb. If that's what you want in your life, then I'll let you have it. I'll turn you over to your desires. And that's all it takes. He doesn't have to do anything to you. All he's got to do is say, okay, go ahead, do it your way. It's like your child when they're going to stick the key in the light socket, and you can tell him no, 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 or you can just go, I'm telling you, don't do that because it's bad, and you know they're going to do it again, and then when they do it, how many more times do you have to tell them after they do it? That's really not a good one because I stuck metaphorically with God. I stuck my finger in the light socket hundreds of times, every time he would step back and go, okay, now you know what they did last time. And I would be like, yeah, but it's going to be different this time. It's not going to do it this time. And it did it every single time. And I guess that's the insanity of addiction. Like I said, this won't be a, this won't ever be a bashing of my family, of anybody for that matter. I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm not here to debate with anybody over what's right and what's wrong in this book, the way I should believe or you should believe, because my walk is not your walk, and your walk is not my walk. And I think everyone's an individual, kind of like in the place I'm at. Uh, Everyone that comes into this shelter is an individual. They all have their own tags with them. What I call tags is their own bag of uh, hurt, uh, hurt they've caused, or hurt they've received, or uh, we're all broken. And it's funny how he brought me here. It's going to be so really. This channel is going to be. So when he came to me, I started a TikTok, and I was on TikTok for. Well, he moved me into the woods for 6 months in South Carolina, and I was on TikTok every day doing lives and stuff, and that's how I ended up here where I'm at. Uh, I work for a shelter that doesn't take any government funds or state funds, so it is really here to help people. It is called the Good Samaritan uh, Rescue Mission or Good Samaritan Village. It's in Corpus Christi, Texas. You can look it up on Facebook. I'm not asking anybody for anything, but if you ever do want to help the homeless, uh, you can look it up and see that it is legit, uh, and you can go from there. Whatever God puts in your heart. Uh, we take donations. We take uh, clothing donations, hygiene, and, you know, and whatnot. And we do not take government or state funds, so anything is appreciated. That's not my point of being here. I hope to start a channel for the mission to show more of what it is and what it does. I don't know what that was. What it is and what it does, and how I handle the building and grounds here. I'm over all the maintenance and vendors that work here. Uh, we work with another foundation which owns the property. Carol owns the actual mission, and man, this place is like it's the greatest place. It's I've got a family now, and I mean, you know, blood is only blood. Blood don't make family. Uh, and I've really got a family here now. And it's constantly changing. Uh, but like I said, this channel will be my journey. So I started it on TikTok, and then I lost that account after a while. 2 years into it, uh, I've never. God's just really changed my life. I know you hear that. People hear that from people, and they go, "Well, I've done this, and I was that. I was that. I was that guy." Everybody says that. This person said, but I've never seen any proof of it. That's the tough thing about this is sorry. I think my guys are up. out here getting their tools together. It's almost time for them to get off. And like I said, I had the neck surgery, so I'm not working with them. They're laying the floor. We had to tear some floors out in a couple of rooms, all the way down to the joist and sister joist them and put in new floors. But I'll shoot videos of us working and doing things around here. But we also minister to souls here. So if someone has trouble, they need to stop and talk, or they have a piece of equipment or a walker or just anything they need, we also maintain that stuff. If we're here to help anybody that we can. Like I said, God, He gives you a whole new perspective on life. Uh, you can't pass that guy on the street anymore and just go, yeah, that bum, he don't have a job. Because I was that bum. I was that bum. And look, and I want y'all to see what he's done for me. If you're interested in watching this channel, I really hope he can use me. I'm so worried that, and I know he can. I know he can because he didn't come get me for nothing. I had given up, and I had just said, this is all I'm ever going to be. And I'm going to die alone, a drug addict in the woods or in somebody's backyard. And that's when he came to me and he said, and it wasn't a voice or anything, but it was a feeling. It was like, since you know that you can't do it, after all these years, finally, you really feel it in your heart that you're not making any progress here. It's like 2 steps forward and 7 steps backwards. Every time you get up, you knock yourself down 10 times worse. He said, if you'll give me a shot, if you'll just give me a chance, let me show you what I can do. Just a chance. Just say you will. And I said, you know what? What do I got to lose? It's obvious I'm not doing anything with it. I'm broke down to where I realize that I'm not going to be anything. I'm going to die like this. What, what, what would it hurt? I've never given him a chance before. Man, it could have been the last chance I had. I guess we'll never know. Could have been the last chance he was going to offer me before he turned me over to a reprobate mind, right? Till he turned me over to my desires, and then there was no more chance. And the story of Lazarus, uh, you know, he'll give you every chance in the world, and, and luck. Well, not luckily, because I don't believe in luck. Luck's of the devil. It's to keep you enticed. And I mean, it is so in depth that I can't even watch TV anymore. No, because it's and I'm not around a bunch of people that criticize what I do. I just feel like I can't. If you know what's going on in Hollywood, and it's all about worshiping them, and you just can't do it anymore. It's just the things that mattered in your life before God. They don't they don't they don't take hold like they used to. You know, the craving to have stuff and to be on top or to be better than someone else. He takes all that away because it's not necessary and that's not what he wants. It's a really freeing feeling. It's a really overwhelming feeling because I mean it's just like you could never be enough, and he knows you're not enough. I mean, what kind of person looks at somebody and says, I know you're never going to measure up to what I want you to be, but I want you to come be with me. Nobody says that, but he does it in real time. I know you're never going to measure up. You're never, until I get done with you, you're not. So you can either take this journey with me or you can go do your thing. You can take this journey with me and have some peace in your life, or you can go do your own thing and keep falling apart. So that's that. I'm glad I finally got the first video out. I don't know how these are going to go. I know I bounced around a lot. Uh, keep thinking I hear these guys walk in. Got two great guys that work with me, uh, and they said they don't mind me putting them on video. Uh, they've got testimony too. I mean, everybody that comes to God has a testimony, and it's really interesting to hear some of them. What I don't like to hear is when people try to one up each other with their testimonies. That's why I don't like getting into the well, I did this and I did that, and I did it worse than you did it. So my testimony is more important than yours. I don't believe that. Uh, I believe that everybody. He wants everybody. He knows he's not going to get all of them, but he's not going to quit trying. And it's never too late. It's never too late to come to him, because it should have been way too late for me. I mean, it's. I'm 54. I just turned 54 years old, and I sit here and go, I don't have any time left. Uh, I'm going through some stuff besides the surgery. I don't want to say it out loud because it, it's really not. It's really not a matter of what I'm talking about. But I'm going through some health stuff, and but he's with me every step of the way. So there's nothing that scares me at all. He's brought my son back into my life after 20 years. I mean, like that. He brought him back into my life. I have a grandson. I mean, he did that in the first 6 months, and there's no way he should have given me a chance again. I destroyed the whole family. Uh, so I'll tell you, that's the biggest part. Reason nobody wants to come to God is because you have to look at you. That's the scariest thing for anybody. You have to finally look at you and go, wait a minute, maybe everybody else is not the problem. You know, there are some bad ones out there, some bad people that, but they're the same as you. They're uh, they're going through their stuff. So we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with the darkness and the spiritual wickedness in high places. I'm no I'm no scripture spitter. I mean, so yeah, it's really deep, and I really want to. It's so hard not to sound so prideful or like I want to do something because I'm not doing anything. I just hope he can use me to steer one person to him, or give one person an ounce uh, of peace to know that you're not the only one going through what you're going through. Uh, I will read one of my favorite verses. or not verses, a verse. My favorite scriptures. And I'll kind of close this out. It's Psalms 23, a Psalm of David. Uh, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou, thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. One of my favorite songs, I don't listen to music anymore either, but my favorite, I never understood it until I came to God, or until He came to me. He sought me out. And I'm not saying I'm special, but He sought me out. Amazing grace. And once you make that connection with God, it changes the whole. To me, before it was just a bunch of words, but I once was blind, but now I see. When He opens your eyes to the universe and to everything, when He opens them, you can't shut them. You can't just forget it and stop and go, oh, you know what? I don't want to believe anymore. Because once you really believe, you got no choice. You got no choice but to keep going. And when they say the wages of sin is death, you are already dead in sin. If you're not in a relationship with God and Jesus Christ, you are already dead. So you're walking around out there, you might be making millions of dollars, and you might have all the girls, and you might have a great wife. You may have everything. You may have good kids and a great wife, but you don't have God in your life. And you think, oh, everything's great, everything's perfect. I pay my bills, everything's good. We have no more troubles than anybody else. But I'm telling you, brother, sister, if you do not have God in your life, you are dead in sin. You do not know what life is. You do not know what living is until you have a connection with God. You don't. You just don't. You can be the poorest person in the world, have not a darn thing to your name, and still be at the greatest peace in your life just with that connection to you and God. Or you can have millions of dollars and be the most miserable person in law in life because there's no, it's empty. How many billionaires or millionaires are there out there that are miserable? They look on the surface, they look happy. They put on a good front, but look at them. They come out all the time in Hollywood. They're breaking down and they're going, I got nothing. I got no friends. I only got what money buys me. I don't have anything that money doesn't buy. There's no trust. There's no, but there's one you can trust. There's only one you can trust. He'll never forsake you. Uh, I I gave him every reason not to deal with me for a lot of years, uh, and he still accepted me. He still I didn't go. This didn't happen. I didn't go to church and seek him out, and just this magic thing happened. I just gave up. I gave up on life. I gave up, and I said I'm never going to be anything. I'm just going to die this way, and I accepted. And that's when he said, "No, we're not doing this. That's not what I have for you." if you'll just do the work. If you will just do the work, then I'll give you a better way. I'll show you a better way. And it was like that overnight. Boom. He took all the pain and the hurt and the shame. We still had to work through a lot of things. It wasn't magic. He's not a magician. He's God. He's the creator of all things. And there's some certain things in this world that you can't believe in God and believe in those things because you can't serve two masters. You can't. You cannot serve two masters. And you in your growth with him will realize I don't need to sit here and preach them to you what you can and can't be a part of. You'll learn that yourself. That's what will tell you if your connection to him is real, is when you're just like, oh man, I can't think like this anymore because not because somebody tells me not to, but because I know it's a lie. Because what did Jesus say? I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And nobody comes to the Father except through me, except for you accepting and believing that He died on the cross for your sins, that He defeated sin on that cross. Unless you believe that that was 100% true, that it really happened, that He was God in man form, and He put Himself here, and as a baby put Himself at risk of being in the care of mankind, and he sacrificed His own Son for just just to save your soul. It's amazing. It's so deep. It's a lot to take in. I want to tell y'all I love y'all, uh, and I really mean that. Uh, he's finally given me a chance to be who I always wanted to be, or who I always was. I, I, I just want to be. I want to be whatever he needs of me, and that's it. No more, no less. And you should want that too, because it's an awesome feeling, and we're in an awesome time. People are panicking because oh, the world is going crazy. There's so much going on, and all this stuff is happening. This stuff's been happening for thousands of years. It's no different than it was 1,000 years ago. None. It's just being revealed now. They just can't hide it anymore because there's so much information out there, and it's so fast to get it and process it, and you can spread it so fast that they don't have time to drown it out or to kill off the people before they get the word out. So it goes so fast. So they just try to deceive you and go, oh well, you don't know what to believe. It could be this, could be that. When you get with him, he'll show you what's what. He'll let you see both sides. He'll expose you to both sides. So I sat in a church one day, and he says, and something hit me and wrong in that church, and I thought, because I got to be in church, I got to be. They say you got to go to church, you got to go. He Something happened in there, and I was like, ooh, and I'm thinking, he's giving me discernment. I got to get out of here. And he says, no, sir, you don't leave. And I'm thinking, but you don't. This ain't. He said, but how are you going to know what not to be around if you don't see it? I'm exposing you to everything. Don't worry, I got you. But I want you to see, this is not from me. This is not from me. This place is not from me. This place is a building, and these people are not from me. And they are being deceived. And it's not your job to come in here and set it straight. I'll handle that. I just need you to see this. So it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's exciting. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here for this one. Thank y'all for giving me a chance listening to me. This is a little easier than TikTok lives because I don't have somebody criticizing me the whole time. I'm sure it's coming, and you know, if I would ask you this, if you're getting on here to criticize me, just waste your time somewhere else because you're not going to affect me. Uh, you're just what I mean. If you really want to do some damage, you're going to have to find somebody that's going to like take your stuff to your comments to heart, your hurtful stuff, because it's just going to bounce right off of me, no matter what you say. Even if you know me, even if you know me and you can bring something up from my past, it's just not going to affect me. I'm sorry. Uh, just don't waste your time, or waste your time. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, uh, so the surgery good. Uh, Dr. Borkowski, Corpus Christi, greatest surgeon. I probably didn't finish a lot of stuff that I started talking about. I will try to be better organized next time. I finally broke ground here and kind of got some of the stuff off my chest. I will try to. I will try to. I will never try to be a creator or a content maker. I will never try to do things that don't come from my heart because I believe that's what he wants is my truth, my who I am, and what I'm trying to say. I wish he would say it through me, because. But I love y'all. Y'all have a great day and weekend. And matter of fact, today is April 1st, 2026. This is my post for this day. I don't know how often I'll do these when I get the feeling that hey, I'm gonna do one. So thank y'all very much for listening. If you stayed with me through the whole video, I really appreciate it. I really do, and I hope somehow he reached you. I, I hope I'm not wasting his time. Thank you.